In this demonstration, I'm going to demonstrate the MapText tools for adding address points or editing address points. So first I'm going to go up and add a new address point. I'm going to hit Create Address Point, click where I want to place the address. You see it goes out and it picks the closest street segment to it. And in the background, it's also populating all these drop-down menus, but in this case the street name and address range is related to that range by the address point, but it also picks the 5 nearest street segments. So I'm going to change that to Constitution Drive just to show you that it is recognizing and interacting with that table. Well, let's go ahead and put that back to John Parker, and we'll go ahead and add 4505. And one quick note, those are using actual selection statements using a nearest neighbor spatial query. So in this case it's picking it up from the streets view based on its address ID. And just to show you how quick it is, I'm going to go ahead and execute this query, run the statement. You see it fetched those records in a fraction of a second actually. So this is a really quick way to populate database information. It also goes out and it grabs its location, what city and zip code this particular feature falls into, as well as its subdivision. And these are both spatial relationships built into GeoMedia. With this you can edit the address status. Say if you wanted to make that a temporary address, you could click temporary and set the expiration date for that. Other information you can add is the mail flag. This is definitely a mailable address. The type default is single family, which is the case in this one. We can also add notes to it, as well as any kind of address anomalies associated with it. And with this one there aren't any. You can hit OK and it commits, and you can see it's added that point. What I'm going to do is make an association with this record for subunits. So I'm going to click this and do an edit address point. And what I want to do in the edit address point is add a subaddress. In this case, I'm going to add a apartment, and these are your choices. And we can add notes about that apartment. In this case, floor, and make a unit destination. We'll add 3 floors to this, and we'll make these all SP for spaces. And what we'll do is we'll add those. You see that it's added all these addresses. This is not exactly what I wanted to do, so I'm going to remove them. If you wanted to change this to alphanumeric, you could certainly do that simply by changing the unit label style and then adding those. And now instead of 1, 2, 3, you get A, B, C. And you can set a delimiter. I'm going to add those again. And you can see that it's added those as delimited spaces, which is cool. I'm going to go ahead and commit this. Okay. Now suppose I wanted to add an address that was out of range for John Parker Lane. You can see it's a 4500 block. So what I'm going to do is add an address that I know is out of range, and we'll make it in the 4600 block. And then when I go to hit OK, it gives you a warning. The street number violates the selected address range. Do you want to proceed, yes or no? In this case, I do not want to do that. And I'm going to abort this. I can also add a related address to this table. In this case, we're going to add a detached apartment with an exterior facing door. So what I do is add this as a new address point. And it's 4505. But this time I'm going to add a suffix type. I'm going to make it a luxury suite. Say we're going to put in a treehouse to this. And since we don't want to get mailed to that, we're going to say no. And we're going to hit OK to commit this. You can see that it's added this as a treehouse. Now I do want to build a relationship between the primary address and the treehouse. So I click the primary address, click Edit, I come over to here to Address Relationships, and I add this treehouse as a new child to this. And that way they're always associated together if you're doing any type of queries. And this is useful if they both share the same GPIN. Okay, you see it's accepted that.